Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. This is Madden 18 on EA Sports. Some adjustments will have to be made by both teams here as the weather has turned nasty and rain will be coming down throughout this game. Let's see who can manage the wet conditions better. It's the Bengals going up against the Broncos. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, we are a couple miles west of the Colorado State Capitol building as we come to you from Sports Authority Field at Mile High here in downtown Denver. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And it's the defense that's really the star of the show. A terrific game last week. They got a shutout on the road. And that's something that doesn't happen very often nowadays.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by the Red Rifle. From TCU, it's Andy Dalton.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. The numbers for Mixon last week, 16 carries, 84 yards.
And when I watch them operate, I see a unit that's playing with extreme confidence. Offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers. You see a group that wants their number 8 rusher in the league end up being in the top 5 before it's over.
Here's Dalton, and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Dalton throwing on second down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And Denver getting set to take the field. Now after the interception, here's Cutler. Wide open receiver complete. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Broncos have taken the early lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they score in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense, because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
Do you think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt, because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Another look for Dalton on 2nd and 10. And a right side completion here by LaFell. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. I was waiting for them to get there first because the momentum they carry from last week, unbelievable. They had a snowman, 8 sacks.
You were surprised that it took this long, and this isn't that long, truthfully. But here's the thing. If you've seen that on tape, your offensive line is going to have to ask for help. Tight it.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Cliff Averill in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays. So a first quarter sack, and remember, keep in mind, he had 2 sacks in last week's game.
And it's always intriguing to me to watch these great pass rushers because some of them, they need their teammates to scheme for them. Maybe occupy people and make it a one-on-one matchup. Other guys, they just defeat everything in front of them. To get 2 sacks in a game, it's a little bit of both for you.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Ian Williams in there to drop it yet again, and he must be shell-shocked back there. That's now back-to-back-to-back sacks, and it's 4th down. The Bengals bring out their punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This is fielded at the 27. Oh, now he bowls him over. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Denver getting set to take the field. And coming up on their 2nd drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together, but I'll bet you it got galvanized. In the locker room and pregame, his fullback, he's looking for more and more of that in this game.
And down inside the 15 he goes. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. But other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
So we played 1 quarter here on a Monday night. 7-0 is our score. Charles and I back to Denver after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll run for it with Lynch. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. So stuffed from the 2, now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action?
Definitely. Let him get outside and create. And if he has to run it, he has a little bit more space.
They try again with Lynch. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. Marshawn Lynch with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Broncos will extend their lead. Second effort there, he was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
And it's 15-0. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here we go with a player's spotlight, and we shine that spotlight on Andy Dalton. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll make it 2nd down. The gun, Dalton looks to throw, and the Broncos get there and take him down. DeMarcus Walker in from his linebacker spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. That's pulled in at the 32. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Hoping now to get back in the end zone on his 4th possession. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had. Demaryius Thomas. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Demaryius Thomas, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Second down, Dalton. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Dalton on the draw to Mixon, and he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Look at the spin.
Balance.
And he will score. Touchdown, Denver.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach. It's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
McManus now for the extra point. And again, it's no good. A few boo birds coming out as he's missed his 2nd extra point here in the first half. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided, too.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Ian Williams in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. Throwing on 3rd and long. Dalton. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
So it's 3rd and long, and you know this is going to be a pass. So defensively, they bring in an extra defensive back and just blanket the field. And this is an ill-advised throw right here as it winds up being picked off easily.
Another drive getting ready to start here for Demaryius Thomas. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are rolling.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Marshawn Lynch with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Broncos add on. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Now, these have been no picnic for him so far. He's missed 2, but this one is good. Well, they got the ball in great field position. 1 play later, boom, end zone. Boy, I guess they're going to keep trying to put the pedal to the metal here. They're going to try an onside kick. And I think the Broncos have it. They do. You know, it's interesting. There was not an onside kick recovered the first 7 weeks in 2015. Teams were 0 of 24, Charles, to start the year. Has it gotten harder to recover these onside kicks?
I don't think it's gotten harder, but when you cite stats such as 0 for 24,
that's staggering.
That keeps people from trying it at all.
They'll start on the ground with Lynch. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Again, they'll pound it with Lynch. Oh, look at the juke. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation,
he's got it at the 15. And he takes this down deep into Cincinnati territory. And give him a gain of 37.
Absolutely zero surprise at that throw we just saw. I mean, Jay Cutler has a whip for an arm.
He's had it since he won a state title at Heritage Hills High School in Southern Indiana.
Where in Southern Indiana, though?
Well, he's born in Santa Claus. How about that?
That's pretty strong right there.
Nearby to my hometown of Evansville. Bet you've never been there, have you?
I have not been there, but I'm looking forward to being invited for a holiday
You're
cheer.
invited. Put that on your bucket list.
Thank you.
First down, the run with Lynch. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports halftime report. Let's get to the highlights. The Broncos are simply running the show in the first half. They've controlled the game and are way out in front. The Bengals will have to make some adjustments before the second half gets underway. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Bengals opening drive. Dalton's under pressure and throws the pick. Parker's the one who makes the pick to give a boost to his defense. After the pick, offense comes out now. Gardner's by himself here, and nobody can stop him on this long touchdown as they put the first points on the board. 2nd and 2 coming up. On the carry, beast mode is back. It's Marshawn Lynch. And this 4-play drive goes for a touchdown. As they move out in front, 14-0. Broncos with the ball early in the second. He finds Demaryius Thomas on the quick pass. He gone as he sprints to the end zone. Bulaga's back.
Now, you folks don't know what you're missing. You're missing Larry Ridley. Ready to get back, though, to this Week 2 matchup. Let's get to it. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This one taken just inside the 10. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
They decided to take a shot and right down the middle of the field, and really, they didn't give it as much time to develop, did they? They want to take that shot somewhere around the 15-yard mark.
And the defense able to recover, bat it free. Now it's Cutler. And this one complete to Virgil Green. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. A good pickup there at 22.
Wow, I can't help it. When I see Jay Cutler throw the football and throw one like that for the big completion, I can't help but be impressed.
His arm strength, such an asset.
It really is, because it gets him in trouble sometimes, but I think it gets him out of trouble more often than that.
And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
From the red zone now, here's Cutler on first down. That's caught left side by Jake Butt. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Jake Butt, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Broncos continue to pour it on.
A good tight end is a heck of a weapon for any quarterback, especially when you're able to create some mismatches. Sometimes they work against a linebacker, sometimes they work against a smaller defensive back. But when they find it, they go to it, and it often results in touchdowns.
Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And can you believe it? He misses another one, his third so far. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And he'll be brought down here at the 28. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. That's caught. It's Coleman. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. That's taken on the 25. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop. A man down on the return. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. And Denver getting set to take the field. They'll try to get something going with Marshawn Lynch. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
They'll run again with Lynch. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Here's a give to Lynch. There he goes again. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
On the handoff, Lynch. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Welcome back now to Denver. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 2nd down, Lynch. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Marshawn Lynch, his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season. And the Broncos add on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This is taken at the 3. Able to slither by. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Bengals getting set to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm?
And the Broncos get there and take him down. Cliff Averill in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
It's 2nd down. Dalton looking. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
It's caught. Left side, Brandon LaFell. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. This is fielded inside the 5. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Marshawn Lynch heading back out into the huddle. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. He got 29 yards that time. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Handoff comes to Lynch. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. They'll keep pounding here with Lynch. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Marshawn Lynch, 50 yards. And the Broncos continue to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's all capped off by a Marshawn Lynch touchdown run. Now McManus on to kick this one off. Returning it, John Ross. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver.
Watch 14, watch 14. Single.
A first down throw coming for Dalton. Open man is Uzomah. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
So Dalton now. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Ian Williams in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Dalton here from the gun. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And he fields it cleanly. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, Just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part,
it's a foot race past the 20, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
And this part of the game's been an adventure thus far, but this one is good. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Looking to throw on second down. Dalton. They find some open field here. There he goes left side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This is taken at the 3. And some room to maneuver. And it'll end there as he goes out of bounds, but a heck of a return all the way inside the opposite 40.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
And the Broncos get there and take him down. Ian Williams in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw here, Dalton. And this is LaFell. It's caught. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Bengals on third down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is third down and 12. It's do or die for Dalton. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 22. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Or you one of those guys who's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun.
It's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And next week, they get to stay home again as the Los Angeles Chargers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Baltimore Ravens come to town. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.